Hey guys, it's Sasanti with Tough Luck Podcast. I'm doing podcast interviews again. I know I went on a little break and I was doing some solo segments. I might get back to solo segments. We will see if my schedule allows it because you guys know I keep myself super busy willingly. And I decided to start the interviews again because I learn a lot from talking to my friends that are entrepreneurs that are also have things that I find really interesting and cool and that I would love to learn from. So we're starting that again and I'm so excited. Thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure to like and subscribe if you're not yet. You guys have seen on my story, I've been working with Outlandish. They're my team for music production, songwriting. I'm in the studio for extended hours. My ears are super sensitive. So whenever they're playing the music loud or using headphones, my ears hurt a lot. So I've bought these loop earplugs to help bring down the level so that it doesn't affect my ears and so that I can comfortably listen to music like the average person. Also, whenever I go to concerts, my ears hurt if I'm standing too close to the stage. So these really help bring the noise level down. These are called the Experience earplugs. They don't completely eliminate sound. They come in multiple colors. So they're like a little accessory. I got these in gold and I wear these under my headphones. That way my ears don't hurt. To save your ears from any sort of ear damage, to make sure that you're protecting yourself, make sure to go to loopearplugs.com and use code loopxdesanti for 20% off of your order.
My friend is telling me we need to set up badges so we can get some free money. I never done that before.
Badges?
Yeah,
What is
like
that?
so people can like donate
Oh,
just for the shits and giggles. Like people do it, I guess. I don't know.
yeah,
But anybody
I've heard of that in TikTok. People donate gifts or
yeah.
Bigo Live, people send you gifts. They literally just pay to send you digital icons. I can still hear the volume on my phone.
Yeah, I turned mine down too, but I can still hear it a little bit. I guess they don't let you fully mute.
Hmm.
I don't know. Good enough. I can't hear it as you're talking, so
Okay, cool.
I don't think where should I look? I'm gonna look at the computer this way.
Yeah, let's look.
Yeah, they can. I'll just look at this and they can catch what happens. They can hear us.
Okay. So for some context, I wanted you to kind of explain what Proxi Linq is for the people that are have seen you promote it but are curious on exactly what it is.
Great question. So Proxy Linq, if I can say my own app. Proxy Linq is an app that takes social local. It's crazy how we have Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all these different social media platforms, which in a way it kind of makes us desensitized to actually meeting people in person and makes us really more antisocial in an aspect because we create these online connections that we never really think or even fathom the thought of meeting in person. So I wanted to really break down that antisocial wall and really truly create a social media platform. The mission statement is taking online conversations and turning it into potential in-person interactions. So with Proxy Linq, as I said, we're taking social local. We're creating social media environments for two different type of proxies. One proxy is the city. So now you go into the platform, first thing you do is you sign into a city or proxy and then see a feed of people, all different users within that city, or which is a new release, which we haven't really initiated yet, schools, universities. And this is a gap that kind of Facebook really left off. Like if you remember when Facebook first came, it was a college platform. You needed to use your college email address to be able to access it.
Yeah.
And that's really what allowed it to blow up. And it's crazy like how they got away from that. Now you have your grandpas and your moms and your dads on it now. But it kind of left that void that was really the main thing that caused it to be successful. So I plan to come in and infiltrate that that proven track record.
Yeah, that's awesome. I've also heard that whenever you're networking in person, people, it's not the same as networking online, because when you're digital, you don't get that human interaction. So you're more bound to remember someone and network with them if you meet them in person, even if it's just once, rather than if you meet them through social media.
And that's a great point. And there was actually, just to caveat up of that, there was a study done at Duke University saying, and I'm alluding to another feature that I have on the app, but it said the most important factor that would lead two complete strangers to be able to have some type of connection was similarity, to where I'm taking that component and creating an app out of it. Right now, anybody who's in a proxy, they have some type of relevancy due to the location, the proximity. Everybody in that proxy has at least one type of similarity. They're all from Austin. They're all from Houston. So you instantly have some type of connection with this person due to shared experiences. Taking it to another level, there's something called interest matching on the platform, to where when you first sign into the platform, there's a list of 100 different interests that you can have, that you may specifically have, to where in a scenario, you go into a bar or you go into, I don't know, any area that has people in it. If someone has your similar interest, it will ping you and notify you, hey, Bob right there also likes knitting for some odd reason. The people knit these days. And then it's like, oh, so it's like they don't only, you don't only get pinned of their interest, they also get pinned of yours. So there you have an icebreaker, to where I didn't know who this person was before, but now I know we have a similarity, and I know that he knows that I know. So it's like that's the icebreaker that make you potentially want to have a connection. And one last thing too is, like, I don't want this to be thought of like a dating app. I mean, it can be used for that, but it's more of a connection app, connecting people with similar interests, because we don't walk around with I like to knit on our head. So like there's a lot of different misconnections that people necessarily want to have. And now this is the first app to automate potential friendships for you.
Yeah, that's true. Because even with the Snapchat location filter where you find people near you, you don't see their interests.
Mm-hmm.
And that also reminds me of whenever I was in high school, I would wear a band shirt so that people that liked the same type of music as me would be like, hey, I listen to them.
I love that. See, I need to create that as an interest. So there we go.
Yeah, types of music genres that they listen to. Have you
Yeah.
ever thought of doing events where everyone just has the Proxi Linq app and is looking for networking, like an event solely for Proxi Linq networking?
So I love that you said that, because that's what the one in Houston is going to be. It's to where it's going to be, well, I would say more of an emphasis than the Austin one, because the Austin one, there was different initiatives. The Austin one was like, we just hear brand awareness.
Yeah.
But now I'm wanting to get more into the app, seeing the capabilities, being able to find those interest matching features, to where which is why I have like a more smaller place space for this one, to really be more intimate, to where it's like, yeah, it's going to be 80s themes, yeah, there's going to be a costume contest, but it's not as much like a party type of vibe. Where, like, I really want to like truly create those meaningful relationships and connections in this one.
Yeah, that would be cool. That's exciting. And how long have you been working on it?
Oh, so I actually got the idea in 2016. When I first moved to Austin, I didn't know anybody, and I was actually looking to join a flag football team. And when I joined, I didn't really know, like I said, I didn't know anybody, so I was like, okay, like how do I come across other people who play flag football? Like I can't just go to the bar and be like, he looks like he plays flag football. So I first went on like what is it, Meetup, the website Meetup,
Yeah.
and it was just like so many different fluff. It was just like random stuff, and like the flag football meetups that I went to, like it was like outdated. No one was really there. Then
Oh,
I tried to go to the Facebook local page. Again, it was like a forum type. And it's like you can't really have one unified space for Austin to where you can talk to people and engage with them. So then I was like, all right, I'll just wait for something to be created, because like I feel like it was a void that it was too obvious not to be created. And I was like, somebody's going to tap into local and create some type of local platform. And I did start to see certain shifts towards it. Like you said, Snapchat kind of has like, see who's near you. So it's like, okay, this obviously is a sense of importance. People are navigating towards it, because I think also Facebook had like some type of Facebook locals too. But I was like, they're not doing it in a social way. They're simply doing it in just an informative way. And I felt like, yeah, I felt like that was a huge mishap. But like Snapchat, they should be able to, when you see people near you, you should be able to like be alerted or something to where you can communicate with them. But it's just like, you got to look at the map like, hey, that person's next to me. And then
Yeah.
you got to go and do that. So it's like, it's more of an update versus like social aspect.
Yeah,
So
and it's weird because you just see their little icon and then their name. There's not much from that.
exactly. I was like, okay, well, it's time for me to hurry up and do this before one of the big four get on it. And in doing so, I also have a patent. So I have certain
Oh my
patented
God.
technology. Yeah. So the similar interest feature, to where when you go into a bar and you come within 25-foot radius of somebody, that's patent. So if they try to do that, I'm gonna sue them.
Wow, congrats. That's
Thank you.
crazy.
And there's another feature that's patented, is friend finding capability. So like, let's say you go to ACL. This year, it was so hard to get tickets. So there's some people who just got tickets for themselves and their friends didn't get it. So they go to ACL and like, okay, I'm in Austin. I'm from Austin or even Houston. I know somebody. I know there's somebody I know that's here. So you can turn your friend finder on and it will alert you of friends that may be near you, which is also patented.
Incredible. That's incredible. I go to a lot of festivals out of state too, and I know people go there. I would absolutely love that feature. They also have like Bumble for business and friends, but it's the business, the model is still swiping, so
Mhm.
it's not very good.
Yes, and these are other potential competitors too, that are relative, but not necessarily um, full built out for social. Like I feel like even like the Bumble is kind of a competitor, but I want to say a direct, but it is relative in that sense, which is why I felt the need to really further some of the features like the two that I just mentioned, to really make this the platform for that. I know Bumble did have a much larger head start, but I am confident that my unique and my experiences set me apart in certain ways, to where, like for an example, I'm not even sure how Bumble has it, but I want to be able to post in another city's feed. I created it to where it's fully exclusive to users that are in there. Because also going back to the point to where when I first moved to Austin, I was trying to look for other like friends to make. And the first thing I did was go to Instagram, look at the hashtags. Well, if you just think of like when you post, when you live in Houston, you don't put hashtag Houston. When you travel to California, when you travel to Miami, you use hashtag Miami, because like that's what you do when you travel places. You don't really post a place that you live in. So everybody I was hitting up, they're like, oh, I was just visiting. Oh, I was just there the other day. Like there was nobody who actually used the hashtag. Yeah.
Funny.
And it was so frustrating. So within my app, you can only post within that city when you're physically in that city. It looks at your phone's location. So that's another cool feature.
That is cool. What are some challenges you had when creating it?
Oh, do we have enough time for this? I've had so many different challenges, mental and actual challenges. Like a couple people who I first was talking to about it, who, and this is a word of advice too, to anybody who has like a new idea. Make sure that you vet your idea with people who have some type of experience in the field in which you're trying to tap into. So when I first brought up this idea to a couple of my friends, they weren't social media people. Like they post once a year. So when I'm trying to talk to them about a social media platform, they're like, well, why would I want to do that? Well, like I don't really care about who's near me. So it's like, they're not the people, they're not my target demographic. There you go. Talk to your target demographic to see if that would be a good idea. Because they almost like literally killed it for me to where I was like, okay, well, maybe I'm tripping. But then I thought I was like, let me actually ask influencers, like people who are on apps or like yourself. And I got a completely different perspective and just a lot of positive feedback. So like just from the mental aspect of even wanting to pursue something like this, that was a huge challenge for me at the beginning. Secondarily, before COVID, I had a decent amount of investment that was dedicated for the app. And then like everything else, COVID killed everything, hurt a lot of people financially, and I lost 100% of my investment. 100.
Wow.
Yeah. So that was another thing to where I was like, okay, it's one thing to do something with other people's money, but to use your own money to where it's like, I got a kid to feed. I just bought a
Yeah,
house. Like I was like,
I
I,
know
I
that.
can't be taking risks like that. So it's like, I actually picked up well, I used to train back in the past, and I stopped once I moved with, got the job at IBM. But I picked it back up just to have like some supplemental money, and that really is what kind of got my feet wet with in getting the app development. So losing my investment was a huge struggle for me. I actually had to go and outsource some of my work, going to India, where they do it much cheaper. Like literally, I got a group of like 3 or 4 people out in India to do it for about a quarter of the price that I was going to pay here. You do also get what you pay for, because there is a lot of
Yeah,
delays,
a
but
lot of.
but they're a
Oh,
good
I
group. They're just,
know.
yeah, they're just not a huge company. So yeah.
So, was there any, you said that there was times when you wanted to quit, and then what was it that kept you going to where were you self-motivated? You said the people around you weren't really social media savvy. Did you, yeah, like what kept you going?
So multiple things, because when you truly believe in something, you just have a different type of grind. Like I love my job. I like going to IBM, but it's not really something that I see myself doing forever. I don't hate it, but I don't love it. And I also don't believe that my work can be fruitful as if like owning my own entity. The thing that keeps me in it is, what if it does work? Like looking at Mark Zuckerberg, looking at the people who own Instagram, like this is not only life changing, this is like changing for my entire family, the generational wealth, and mostly just the ability to make an impact on the world. Like I don't want to be able to just be rich. Like to me, like that's selfish. I want to be able to have the wealth to where I can help others in a systemic level, give opportunities to people with my skin color who don't necessarily get those opportunities in life. So it's like those are the things that really drive and keep me to push to think about the change that I can have in the 2% chance that it can work.
Yes. But I'm sure you feel like you had to go through having a job and learning an expert in your field, which is SEO and digital marketing and everything else that you do. I'm sure it all had to build up for you to feel like now you have this knowledge and experience to be able to venture out and do your own thing.
Yep, and you're great. You do your research. I freaking love it. I love it. I love it. So that's 100% correct. I always knew that I was going to be an entrepreneur, but I even if someone wants to be an entrepreneur, I would strongly suggest them to go a corporate route so they can understand some of the different ways of business. But also, you get to make mistakes, and they hurt a little bit less because you have a
Their
huge
expense.
yeah, yeah. You can make mistakes that don't really hurt you as much versus being an entrepreneur. You feel 100% of that pain, and also have like access to certain tools and training that would be 10 times more expensive than doing it yourself. So I always knew that I was going to go into the entrepreneurial world. Like I look at my dad. Like my dad used to be an NFL player, and once he stopped playing, he just been an entrepreneur in many different fields, from the medical field to all different type of various things. So like that was one thing I was really attracted to. But at the same time, I also saw how my mom did go the corporate route and the different advantages from there. So it's like I kind of combined both of them into one to start off corporate, then potentially go into the entrepreneur mindset later on.
That's really good. That's really good because a lot of people, I feel like I quit my corporate job very early on and I felt like I was just barely treading in water to the point where I was like, okay, I'm going to take what I learned and then build from that. But the advice that I would give people too is to stay in their corporate jobs so that they can learn as much as they can and acquire the skill that they need to then manage their own, to go up to become even the manager level. And then that way they have those skills to be able to manage something on their own, because it does make a huge difference rather than just starting from no experience at all.
Amen to that. Saves you like I said, the mistakes hurt just a little bit less.
Yeah. So the name Proxy Link, a proxy is it the server between or the thing between the user and the server? Is that where you got the name from? Is there any sort of,
I
yeah?
love it. I love it. So proxy, the term is actually ambiguous because it has two meanings. The meaning in which you just said, but then also the the actual term of proximity to see people that are near you. So
Oh,
so
okay.
yes. So it kind of takes both of those and applies it that are both applicable and relevant in the situation, and then linking each type. Now, the reason why I have link Q instead of K, just because Q and K was already taken, so I had to go with a Q route. But yeah, but that's a really great point that you caught that, and I hope more people catch that, because like when I came with the name, I was like, this is actually freaking ingenious. But I was like, 90% of people are not even going to really get both of the definitions.
Yeah, they're just gonna be like, it's a cool word.
I know.
But the branding is cool.
Yeah.
Do your own branding and
Yeah.
marketing.
So I have a close friend I used to work with at Academy Sports and Outdoors, the corporate office. And then that's one thing too. Like a great reason to also go the corporate route is the connections that you can make. Like I have a web designer that I work with that I met at one company, a developer that I worked at another company, a content writer. So like I go to these companies when I like somebody and I see that they do good. It's like, all right, I'm gonna leave here, but I'm gonna stay in connection with you because I'm gonna need you later on. So I have like literally bits and pieces of people from all the different companies that I work with to do that. So I have like my own like little in-house marketing team. So if you ever need anything, I got you.
That's badass. So now, did you get any backlash for the apps feature, including using the location to find people? How do you make sure that people aren't using it inappropriately, such as like setting their interest to be what it's not, to find like maybe if like some old creepy guy sets it to like yoga to find girls that do yoga, would that be something anyone's brought up before?
Yes, so this was actually something that I have a close friend. Shout out to Erica. I ran the idea by her like before I had it like finally conceptualized, and that's exactly what she brought up. She is a an attractive young lady who gets a lot of creepers in her DMs, and she was like, I would hate for people to know if they're near me or where I'm at or things along those sorts. So I went back and thought to where it's like, okay, what can we do to hide certain people? So let's say you have an experience to where you go somewhere and you have a creepy guy and he like messages you because you have like a similar interest. You can instantly block that person to where they will never be able to see you again. But let's say you want to take it to another level of blockage and you just don't want people to know where you are. Like, I want to be on this app. I want to be a ghost person on this app. Like, I want to see people in my feed, but I don't want them to know if when they're in proximity from me. You can simply turn off your location setting to where you can still get into that proxy, but the similar matching, the friend finder will not be accountable for you, and you'll be virtually invisible on the app.
Okay, that's cool. And then I guess if you see someone you want to message on there, you would turn it on and be like, hey.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Cool. Okay, cool. So is it just you delegating the tasks and creating everything, or do you have a team for Proxi Linq?
So I'm wanting to build a team. I kind of enlisted a little bit of help for this previous launch that we had in Austin, which was amazing. I appreciate everybody who came out. You as well.
That
That's
was a
how.
really good turnout. That was
And we
great.
had we have 400 and like 420 people who came out. I was like,
Wow.
what?
And they were there all day too.
Yeah, like it was awesome. But I'm actually looking to build a team. So like my team right now is people out in India who are like the developers. I'm trying to recruit one of my close friends. His name is Maurice, but he also goes by Chris. We don't know which one to call him. Who's been very helpful to me. Another friend, Candice, who's been very helpful. But they kind of like they have their own jobs. They come in and out. So like I'm really wanting to bring someone on board right now, but really I may have to wait till I get an investment. So like everything that I've been doing, I've been coming out of my own pocket, from the last launch party to the development of the app to the advertising. So it's like I personally right now can't afford to bring someone on. But I think once I get my first investment, then I will be able to do so and bring someone on. Baby, go. Daddy's on a call. Sorry, that's my why right there. There we go.
Yes. Do you feel like that motivates you? Well, yeah, it motivates you more to have to be responsible for kids now. You have a family to take care of. You feel like that the difference between before they were born and now, I bet you're a lot more driven.
Yes, like I'm not gonna lie. Before I had a kid, I was complacent. I was satisfied, and it's like being satisfied is, I don't know. It's a tricky thing. I'm not sure because on one hand you're happy, you're doing good in life. You're not stressed, but then on the other hand, you limit your success because when you don't have that drive, you don't have that hunger, when you're just content with where you are, it's really hard to climb. And that's why I say satisfaction is the limit to all success. But once I had her, that's was like, oh, I need to really get my grind back, because it's not even so much about the now. You start thinking about the future. It's like, oh, college, she's gonna even before college, we gotta do soccer gear. You gotta give her the best gear because she's gonna be track. She's gonna have the best spikes and things along those lines. And it's just like we gotta step the game up. And you just start thinking out the box. It's like, okay, corporate job, that's cool, but that's not gonna be able to create generational wealth. We gotta do something that's gonna really allow me to own my own entity. And that's really what helped drive Proxy Linq as well.
Yeah. And how do you balance out your personal life and your work life? Because I know owning and running a business is a full-time job, and then parenting is another full-time job. So how do you balance those out?
So that's something that I'm still learning how to do that. I was kind of mad at myself because these last couple of weeks, I don't think I was doing a good job. So I was like, you know what? It's time to be dad mode. So me and my daughter, we went to um, I came to Houston with her, and we just went like on a trip just by ourselves out to the beach. We went to like this other like indoor pool resort area. So we just really had a great quality time. And it's just try to be cognizant and try to be aware. And the good thing about my daughter, she'll tell me, she's like, Dad, we need to do something. I was like, okay, all right, it's time to step it up. Step up the dad duties.
Yeah. Now going back to having a team overseas. So I just finished reading the book, The 4 Hour Work Week. I'm not sure if you've read it before, but it talks about the power of automation and not being with your hands in the clay in your business, but being overseeing it and then delegating what needs to be done. Are there any things that you've learned as far as automation and outsourcing that you could share with us?
I think I need to read that book
You
because
do. I think you would love it.
that's something that I struggle with. For full transparency, I'm the type to where I need to have more trust in people. I want to do everything myself because I know if I do it, it's gonna be good.
A lot better.
And
Oh,
if I
yeah.
yeah, if
That's
if I trust this person to do it, it may be good, it may not. And I guess that's really just it's a skill to pick people to properly help you. And I think in order for me to scale, I'm gonna need help. Like there's a phrase, if you want to go fast, go by yourself. If you want to go far, get a team. And to go, like, I feel like I went fast, but now I need to go far with it. I kind of reached my limit of going fast, and to really help it grow, I definitely need a team, and that's something that I need to delegate more. But and again, you can only delegate if you have a team.
Yeah, yeah. And it's also takes